Welcome back to another episode of the Outsider Sports Baseball Podcast. Corey, Jason, John, Pauline, Dylan, Mel. Playoffs are around the corner. We have less than 50 days until the end of the regular season. But to start it off, sad news, Tommy John, the first man to get Tommy John surgery, which is crazy that Tommy John got TJ. It's like Lou Gehrig dying of Lou Gehrig's disease. Died at 83. 26 seasons, won 288 games, not in the Hall of Fame. I think that's something that they need to change. Baseball's got an issue of inducting guys after they passed away. Why not let them enjoy it while they're alive? All right, 288 game winner.
Yeah,
Seems
valid.
a little obvious. But he passed away, and then we have Ketel Marte not showing up with the Diamondbacks, just not reporting for duty. He's on the restricted list.
Important to note, we're recording 8:42 p.m. Eastern on August 17th. So, when this is out, there's probably way more information. We have no idea what's going on. We don't know if somebody close to him passed away. We don't know if he's dealing with a medical emergency or if this is Dennis Rodman on the 98 Chicago Bulls going AWOL for a Vegas trip. We don't know.
Yeah. It's just so uncommon for something like this to happen and the team to not know.
Yeah.
Because you have to think if the team knew that somebody passed away or he was sick,
right,
that they wouldn't put him on the restricted list, that they would have came out and said that he's taking some time off or something happened, they wouldn't put him on the did not show up restricted list.
Yeah, the restricted list makes it seem like he went AWOL for sure. But
we have no.
Who are we to assume?
Right, we have no information. But it's going to be. I'm curious how that's going to play out. Now we could talk about the real fun stuff because the Phillies have a positive run differential for the first time this year as we record.
They had a positive run differential multiple times when we recorded. You just didn't count them.
Here we go, sillies. Here we go.
Isn't it enough that I'm counting it today?
Better late than never.
Isn't it enough for me to say, John, you were right. They are true contenders now. Isn't that what I said? That when they're positive on that run differential.
Are they true contenders?
I promised John I would say it. I didn't say I would believe it. I would just say I'd say it. I do believe more in them now than I did a week ago.
I guess that's fair.
But 41 days until the final day of the regular season as we record. I got some magic numbers because it's magic number season right now. Now this is for a playoff berth, and this is for the current playoff teams. In no particular order, Milwaukee's magic number is 25, the Yankees 29, Philly 35, Tampa 24, Boston 33, San Diego 35, the Dodgers 27, Baltimore 38, the White Sox 34, Atlanta 27, Houston 37, and the Cubs 30. Those are the teams currently in the playoffs. Obviously, a magic number involves a combination of your team winning and another team losing to bring down that number. The Phillies +9 in that positive run differential. So I feel like now is a good time to talk about the playoffs, how we think it'll happen, what teams will make it. Will I include Philly in my playoff prediction? We'll find out in a few seconds. All right, so I took a couple races, divisions, wild card that are within 6 games. I figured within 41 days, 6 games is make-upable. You can get from 6 games to take over in 41 days, right? I think that's fair. I had no agenda behind picking 6 as a random number, by the way. No agenda at all. So let's start up with the AL East, where Tampa's up 5.5 on the Yankees. Can the Yankees take over Tampa and win the division?
Can they or will they?
Well, first, obviously they can. So will they?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a yes here. I pulled up everybody's strength of schedule. Tampa Bay has the 11th hardest remaining strength of schedule. The Yankees 15th, so just kind of dead center there. These two play each other just 4 more times this season. I believe that's kind of in the later part of the year. But when I look at some of the opponents, they both play San Diego. The Yankees match up against Houston. They have a 4-game set against Boston still to go. Toronto as well. But I look at Tampa Bay, and there's some real tough matchups. Atlanta, Philly, San Diego, Boston, Houston, Detroit, Texas, the Blue Jays, and an Orioles team that's getting pretty hot. So I would say with the Yankees starting to get somewhat healthy, obviously Max Fried out now, but the pitching has been phenomenal for the Yankees. The batting average has been the worst in baseball over the last 18 games, so kind of nowhere to go but up from here, basically. Bellinger expected to be back soon. Judge, I think we'll see back at some point in September before the playoffs, maybe for a couple of weeks. Stanton, I'm not optimistic if I'm being honest, but I'm going to go with the Yankees to sneak out this division by about a game and a half at the end of the season.
Yankees 69-55. Plus 85 run differential. They are 5.5 back, like I said, at Tampa Bay. It's getting late real early, right? We did get a report that Stanton might make it back before Judge, so I don't know if that says more about Stanton or Judge in the Yankees' feelings about them returning.
Yeah, I mean, I would just be more optimistic about Judge just of a previous track record.
Well, of course.
I do want to throw out there on FanDuel, the Rays are minus 425 to win the division, the Yankees plus 470, so it's a pretty substantial difference. So for what it's worth, I'm going against the grain here, picking the Yankees to make the comeback.
The Yankees, we don't usually start with them when we talk about teams, but I figured this is one of the bigger disparities between top and second place in the division. The Yankees are the top wild card. I think it's safe to say just about that the Yankees will be a playoff team. Now,
yeah, I feel like it's safe to say both of these teams will be in the playoffs.
Yes. Again, I don't want to say 100%. You never know. They have a collapse like we've seen other teams have. There are historic collapses. They are historic for a reason. But I do think they'll make it. Same with Tampa. Tampa not playing as well lately. They lost 3, and there's still a chance they could lose 4 in a row to the Orioles in a sweep. They're up currently. Yep. So the Rays are kind of hitting the rough patch. The Yankees, they're in a weird spot. It doesn't feel, and tell me if you agree or disagree, Dylan, it doesn't feel like the June swoon is over, even though they're still winning games. It doesn't feel good where they're at. Even though there's light at the end of the tunnel, it doesn't feel we've ever recovered.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the heart of the lineup. It's just been banged up. Judge and Bellinger haven't been playing. Ben Rice went on a real cold streak as of late. Those are your 3 best hitters. So I just think when 2 of them aren't playing and one's not producing, it's going to feel that way. I'm kind of more impressed that the team has just found a way to win games, to be honest. Like, not that there's nowhere to go but up for this team, because obviously more guys can get hurt, but the potential for growth, especially from the lineup, really does exist, and the pitching is reaching the levels that we kind of dreamed about at the start of the year. Both them and the Rays, I do want to mention, have, according to ESPN, over a 99% chance to make the playoffs. So
when you get to the playoffs, I think you tend to choose the team that has the best pitching in a short series to win. Yep. The Yankees starting rotation, even with Max Fried out, you're looking at Schlittler, Cole, Weathers. Ryan Weathers has been beyond outstanding.
Yeah, I think they'd give Rodon the bump still.
I think they do, but I think just giving Weathers his flowers right now.
Oh, for sure. Again, they have a Weathers. Like, that's whether it's as a starter or out the bullpen, they have him. So the pitching is elite for New York. They have the least amount of runs allowed in the entire AL at 466 right now. And like I mentioned, in the last 18 days, They have the number 1 ERA in baseball. I think it's 2.66. So,
even their bullpen has been more than fine.
I mean, Hedrick, what a story. But even
Hedrick,
Bednar,
Blackburn, Bednar.
Yep.
Even Tim Hill's been pitching much better lately.
Yeah, for Tampa, I will say this. Getting home field advantage in the playoffs pretty important for them. They're 41-21 at home this year, 33-28 on the road. So they play much better at the Trop.
We'll see how that kind of shakes out. But Tampa, I don't know if anybody, John, you want to talk about Tampa and how well they're playing because, like we said, they're in first place, right? 74-49, a plus 52 run differential, 7-3 in their last 10. But those 3 have come in a row to Baltimore leading into this conversation. How do you expect them to fare going down the stretch?
I mean, unlike, I think they'll I think they'll stay in first and ultimately win the division. I just don't know how well they would do in the playoffs because I don't know if this is a team that can go very deep in the playoffs. When you look at the roster and like who their players are, because I mean, hitting wise, they don't really have. I think a lot of bats can look at the thing because I mean, like because it's like Yandy Diaz, Caminero.
Caminero's a stud.
Yeah,
dark horse to sneak in and win that MVP over Jordan.
I personally disagree here. I think that Tampa Bay is one of those teams that if they got hot at the right time, I could easily see it. Caminero, Aranda, Yandy Diaz, Chandler Simpson, even Taylor Walls and Cedric Mullins are guys that interest me in a playoff run. I think Tampa, no matter who they face, is going to be a tough out. Like they're a team that, in my estimation, will make you earn every win in a series.
It just they kind of remind me. I'm just like more in like recent years, more of like that Rangers team or the Diamondbacks, where they're good, but they're not like.
I think their ceiling is lower than some other teams. I think their ceiling in terms of their best baseball is lower than 2 other teams in their division.
But I'm having a hard time. I don't know why MLB is like being really difficult today with like loading stats. Like it's telling me Mizrakowski's on the Rays. Like I have no idea why it's being like this.
Thanks.
No,
gotta
but
gotta go to ESPN. That'll load for you.
No, so I'm looking at their pitch because it's really everything's so thing. But it's like if you look at their pitching, like I mean, they have some.
Their pitching
great.
Really, it's not big names, but it just never is with Tampa. Martinez, even when they made that World Series run, like they had names, but Martinez a 2.74 ERA this year, Rossman 2.78, McClanahan 3.09, and you just know it's just the Rays for Freddie Peralta to pitch a playoff gem for this team.
Yeah,
it's just so obvious.
And if you look at their hitters, they don't have a lot of qualified hitters. Like.
Yeah,
they're going to be qualified, but they're pretty good.
But they have a lot of like good hitters. Just they're not all qualified.
Yeah, I mean, I think both of these teams are lock playoff teams, and I don't want to get too far ahead of it, but both of these teams could represent the AL in the World Series.
Now let's go on to the next one I want to discuss. That's going to be the AL West. Houston currently leads their division. They're up 2 on Texas and up 4 on Seattle.
I mean, some people predicted Houston to win the division and got laughed at. And I was told Seattle's going to be 100-win team. How could you pick Houston to win this division? But some of us had a vision of this division being.
We're that hard on you.
We'll have to revisit the tape on this one because I remember being laughed at. I mean, Corey's got it right there. Where did you guys have Houston finishing?
I got it right here. If you want me to read it off,
I don't remember.
I'd just like to know where you got. I think somebody had the Athletics ahead of the Astros.
So let's go. Let's include Ben in this. The mythical Ben. Ben had Seattle winning the division as the only team in the division to make the playoffs, followed by the A's, Rangers, Astros, and Angels.
That's 4th.
John had Seattle winning the division as the only team to make the playoffs in this division, followed by Texas, Houston, A's,
Third.
Angels. I had the same exact as John. And Dylan went Angels, Rangers, A's, Seattle, Houston, bringing up
Yeah,
the
but that was 5-1. The way you read everybody else's 1-5. I'd like to clarify that you read mine 5-1.
Dylan had the Astros winning the division, followed
Yes.
by Seattle, both
Yes.
making the playoffs. A's, Rangers, Angels.
And listen, everybody was high on the A's a little bit. I didn't disrespect the Astros. This is just a veteran-led lineup. They have the MVP of the AL right now. Yordan Alvarez can single-handedly win them any game. And at the end of the day, when we get to playoff baseball, I know the pitching is weak. I'm not saying that I'm predicting the Astros to go to the World Series, but you're going to look at Yordan. You're going to look at Altuve. You're going to look at this team. You're going to look at the uniforms and the logo. You've seen it before. And they're going to instill fear, man, into some of these younger teams. You let a Chicago White Sox get matched up with an Astros, I'm picking the Astros, okay? Because they have that veteran experience.
If I told you you could pick the Astros or the field to win the division, would you still pick the Astros, or would you not pick any other team but other than the Astros to win the division?
The Astros.
Okay.
They're the best team in the division. Of course I'd pick them. I picked them back in February, March. I'll pick them now.
I don't know if I'm as excited about September, October Astros as you are.
I mean, they have the 24th hardest schedule remaining, otherwise known as the 7th easiest.
I just feel like the Astros' path to winning the division isn't so much if they're just going to win their games. They need to hope that Seattle or the Rangers also don't get hot.
Well, your math on that's wrong. If they won every game the rest of the season, no matter what happened,
yes, they won every game.
Well, so they control their destiny.
But in reality, they're not going to win every game.
But
even
neither
if they
is Seattle or Texas.
But if they tread water,
they got to stay even with those teams.
Yes, if they could stay even, they're good. But if they face a team getting hot, whether it's the Mariners or the Rangers, I don't know if I can see the Astros.
They have 2 games left versus the Mariners, 0 left versus the Rangers, 7 left versus the Athletics.
And the Athletics, as we've said, are an underrated team that everybody was high
on. No. They are now dog water.
I'm
minus 174 run differential. Whole team's hurt.
Astros went up by 2 games, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
listen,
tight race. I mean, it's not like
hey, when we get to our playoff predictions, I'm not a complete hater on these teams. I'm just a believer in the Astros.
Let's move on to the other American League division. That's the AL Central. The White Sox are up 5.5 on Detroit, 6 on Minnesota and Cleveland. So 4 teams in this division are in this race technically.
Yep.
Detroit, ever since trading away Skubal, has been playing a lot better. Minnesota, beyond exceeding expectations. The White Sox, exceeding expectations. Cleveland, not so much. But they have been a team in the past that exceeded expectations, especially last year. People kind of wrote them off, and they won the division. So, is this, the White Sox victory lap, or could we see this race tighten up?
I think we could certainly see it tighten up on a couple of different fronts. One, Detroit, 5.5 back. They have a higher run differential than Chicago. Pretty substantially, plus 36 on them. I also think the Guardians, who have veteran experience and have the easiest remaining schedule in all of baseball, could make a push. That said, I'm not going to go out on a limb and pick anybody to beat the White Sox. I think this division only has one playoff representative, so I'm gonna put my money on Chicago to hold this down. But I think Cleveland is a team to watch sneaky make this a close race. I mean, we saw them do it last year.
It's going to be tough. I think that the White Sox probably aren't going to have an easy victory lap, but it's going to need a Herculean effort from teams that were sellers to overtake them.
Yeah. I mean, 73% shot to make the playoffs. The next highest in the division is Cleveland at 26.
What's the other teams, Minnesota and Detroit, at?
Detroit is 18.3, Minnesota 20.9. So 21.
To make the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right. Let's head to the NL Central. The Central for the National League, Milwaukee is up 5 on the Cubs. I know some people have been very high on the Cubs and expecting Milwaukee to kind of falter. If we look back at how we ranked this division, the three of us had the Cubs winning the division. Me and John had Milwaukee in third, while Dylan had them in second. None of us had them making the playoffs before you get too excited.
Better than you guys. That's all I could ask for.
Ben also had the Reds winning the division, with Milwaukee coming in fourth. So,
well, mythical Ben.
well, Ben.
So,
do the Cubs make a push, or are we kind of writing the Cubs in as that top wild card team?
I love the Cubbies, and I'm still going to be honest. In a playoff format, give me them over the Brewers. Although Mizorowski on the mound makes it tough. I feel like it's more of a coin flip. But the Cubs have the second hardest schedule remaining. So give me the Brewers to hold down this division.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the Cubs' chances of catching up to the Brewers, I just don't know if there's enough runway for them, because the Brewers are also playing at a high level. The Brewers right now 5-5 in their last 10. The Cubs 6-4. Brewers higher run differential.
Yep.
5 games. Brewers have the best pitcher in baseball.
You could make the case for sure.
It's just going to be tough.
Best pitcher in baseball this season, no doubt. Brewers 99.999 shot to make the playoffs. Cubs 97.8. So I do think
98%. That's actually surprising.
I do think both of these teams will be there. I'll say that.
Now, we're not going to cover the NL West because the Dodgers are up 7 games on the Padres. I don't think we need to come on here and waste breath. So, yeah, the Dodgers are going to win their division.
Yep.
The Dodgers are 99.99. Two potential wild card teams in that division that we'll certainly talk about with our playoff predictions.
And then the NL East, same thing. Atlanta's up 7.5. I'm sorry, John. I just don't think talking about whether the Phillies or the Marlins.
I mean, you can look at my predictions. I predicted Atlanta to win the division.
I mean, Atlanta 99.6, Phillies 77.7, Marlins 10.2.
So I just don't think those are worthy of a conversation. So we can now talk about the wild cards.
Sweet.
Because there's a lot of tight races, especially now that we, another year with the 3 wild card teams.
Yeah, I mean, Phillies fans are real thankful for that right about now.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the American League wild card, and then we will talk about our American League division winners and who we think will make the wild card, and then we'll go to the National League. So let's start this way. Who do we think is going to win the American League East?
I mean, I said the Yankees, so I'll stick with it.
I said the Rays earlier, so.
I'm also going Tampa, and then the reason why I, log everything that we predict early in the year, I can go back and tell us who we had winning the division all the way back on March 17th, as opposed to today, August 17th. I had the Red Sox winning the division and Tampa in last place in the division.
Ooh.
Dylan, you had the Yankees winning the division with Tampa in last place in the division.
I don't think so. I think I had the Orioles behind them.
Nope.
No.
You made a big point about how the Orioles will be better than the Rays.
That doesn't sound like me.
John, you had the Yankees winning the division, followed by Tampa in last place.
I think I said in the preview show, though, because we all did that, this will be the year Tampa's good. So even though I didn't predict it, I soft predicted it.
And then Ben had Toronto winning the division with Tampa in last place.
Even the chalk pick he has ends up being wrong.
So AL Central, I'm going the White Sox to hold off.
Yeah,
Yep.
Chicago.
John, you as well?
Yep.
And again, just to reiterate, I had Detroit winning with Chicago in fourth. Dylan, you had Detroit winning with Chicago in fourth. Not better than me this time. John, you had Detroit winning with Chicago in last.
Oh, better than John, though.
And Ben had the Royals winning with Chicago in fourth.
The Royals.
Mythical Ben.
What a guy.
And then now, if we reiterate our NL West picks,
AL West.
I'm going Seattle to win the division. I think
Houston.
they get hot.
Houston. H-Town, baby.
John?
I'm with Corey. Seattle.
You guys were wrong March 17th. You'll be wrong August 17th.
This was from February 10th.
February 10th, wrong. August 17th, wrong.
I had Seattle winning with Houston in third, Dylan Houston in first, Seattle in second.
Both what?
And playoff teams.
I just want to reiterate that.
All right. John had Seattle in first, Houston in third. Ben had Seattle in first, Houston in fourth. So, as we talk about the wild card, the Yankees are the American League wild card 1. They are 8 up on the final wild card. They are 3 up on wild card 2.
Yep.
Boston is wild card 2. They are 5 up. So, who do we think will be the first and second wild card in the American League before we get into that tight third race?
I really think it's going to be the Yankees, Red Sox, like where it is now.
That's where I'm at too, John.
I think Tampa, Boston. I have Tampa and New York swapping for the division at the end of the year, but I got Tampa as wild card 1, Boston wild card 2.
All right, so now American League wild card 3. This is the tightest race in all of baseball. You have Baltimore, who's currently the leader as we record, followed by the Rangers, who are half a game out, Toronto and Detroit, who are 1 game out, Minnesota and Cleveland, who are 1.5, and Seattle, who is 2.5.
And this is where I pick Seattle to get
This is
into
where you
the
pick
playoffs. They have the second easiest remaining schedule. I think
Who's
they
the
can.
easiest?
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
I think Seattle is still a better team. I think Seattle can get hot. I don't think they can catch the Astros, but I think Seattle gets their way into the playoffs.
Now, if Seattle has the second easiest, why them over Cleveland, who has the easiest and 1 more game less to overcome?
Well, personally, I just think Seattle is still a better roster. I trust the pitching more. Gilbert, Kirby. I still think Julio Rodriguez is awesome. Thank God Cal Raleigh didn't get that MVP last year because he sucks. But, he could hit some home runs down the stretch here. I just trust the roster of Seattle more, especially from a consistent night-to-night pitching front from the starters into the bullpen. Munoz to close games. So that's why I'm rocking with Seattle.
How about you, John? Who is your third wild card?
Astros.
Look who's coming around.
Yeah.
Why the Astros, and how do they end up losing to Seattle while still securing a wild card spot?
It's just this is purely just to cover myself if they do win, so I don't get.
All right. Well, I'm not riding with you. Houston is not making the playoffs.
No.
Here we go.
No. The funniest outcome would be Detroit trades away Skubal and still makes the playoffs, and that's what I'm rooting for.
You're ridiculous, man.
Detroit is only 1 game out of the wild card race.
What's
They
their
traded away
schedule?
Houston's not in the wild card race. They're winning a division.
Fair. Can't argue with that. What I can say is it would be really funny if Seattle made the playoffs after trading Skubal for nothing and then got bounced in embarrassing fashion. Like, imagine if they had Skubal.
Detroit
would
Dodgers World Series.
I meant more like, imagine Seattle's offense played really, really well in the wild card round.
You
their
mean
pitching-
Detroit?
Detroit's offense played really well in the wild card round, and their pitching just couldn't handle. And everybody's asked, what if they kept Skubal? What if they had one of the best pitchers in baseball?
What if Corey didn't disrespect the Astros again on August 17th?
I mean, what if the Astros didn't disrespect me in 2017?
Valid.
So then on the flip side, right, we have the National League. Who do we have winning the NL East? I have Atlanta.
The Braves.
My ATL Braves.
My prediction has not changed.
Let's skip to the NL West. I think we're all rocking with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Ben is saying the Rockies. The National League Central. I'm still saying Milwaukee holds on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And this is why the AL is more fun. There's actual competition. Wild card 1 for the National League.
Cubs.
You have the Cubs who are in the lead. They are also 5 games up on Philly and San Diego, who are tied for wild card 2.
Yeah,
Cubs?
I got the Cubs.
Cubs all around.
Cubs.
Now, the National League wild card 2 and 3 are both currently occupied by Philadelphia and San Diego. They're both tied. So this is we're going to have to decide on who gets wild card 2 and 3 in which order. So Arizona's 1 game back. Miami and St. Louis are 3 back. After that, the next closest jumps to 6.5 in Pittsburgh. So who do we think ends up becoming the second wild card team?
I have San Diego. I have the Padres. They have the 16th hardest schedule, so 14th easiest, middle of the pack. They're tied. Trust Mason Miller to close out games. Lineup's been getting going. Tatis has been getting going. Give me the Padres.
I'm also going Padres.
I'm going Phillies, especially because the Phillies have the tiebreaker on the Padres too. If it gets to the close, really close.
Now, if we go to wild card 3, John, who do you have as the third wild card?
The Padres. Like, really, it's just not much. Like, it's kind of where.
I'm gonna go with the Phillies. The Ketel Marte news today makes it much easier for me to go with the Phillies. Assuming the Diamondbacks aren't going to have him. The Phillies do have the 4th hardest schedule remaining, though. They have matchups with the Brewers, the Rays, 7 games with the Braves, Diamondback series, Seattle series. So they got some tough opponents.
Depending on how the Braves series goes, I mean,
they have 7 games against.
I mean, there's a chance depending on how those go. I mean, there's a chance they end up winning the division.
I'm gonna take it won't be a 7-game sweep. So
no,
I'm gonna go with the Phillies to get in as the 6th seed. And hey, the 6th seed in the NL has done some things.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was having trouble because there's a lot of eraser marks on my paper, but who is going to be wild card 3 and wild card 2 for that matter?
Can you tell me who you thought was gonna win the NL East and who was gonna make? Can you tell me who you thought was gonna go? Give me your predictions, Corey, from the start of the season.
So
honestly,
wild card 2, I had either San Diego or Philly written in and erased before I ended up going San Diego. And then wild card 3, I had Philly, San Diego, and the Marlins all written in, and I'm erasing. And I really want to go the Marlins there. I just don't think that's realistic, so I'm going the Pirates. I'm kidding. I'm going the Phillies.
I wouldn't. The Pirates. That'd be a fun one.
No. I do think the Phillies hold on. They are a playoff team. That is my prediction.
Who did you have going to the where did you have the Mets going?
So,
at your start of the
as
season?
we discussed with the American League, our predictions back now, we're talking February 17th for the NL Central. I had the Cubs winning with Milwaukee in 3rd. Dylan had the Cubs with Milwaukee in 2nd. John had the Cubs with Milwaukee in 3rd. Ben had the Reds with the Cubs in 2nd and Milwaukee in 4th.
Well. Look at that. Again.
We had for the NL West on March 3rd, I had the Dodgers winning with the Padres in 3rd as a playoff team. Don't need to worry about who was in 2nd as a playoff team. The Giants definitely didn't disappoint me. Dylan had the Dodgers in 1st and the Padres in 2nd. John had the Dodgers in 1st and Padres in 2nd. And how does Mythical Ben screw this up? Ben had the Dodgers in first, but the Padres in fourth.
Well, you know.
And then we go to the NL East. I had the Mets in first, Atlanta in second, Philly in third. So I don't think that's terribly outlandish given what we were thinking back in March, on March 10th.
Why don't you say what me and John were
Yeah, what do we
thinking
have?
I also had Miami in fourth, so I did have some faith in Miami.
to be better than the Nationals?
Dylan had Atlanta in first, the Mets in second, Philly in third, Miami in last. John had Atlanta in first, Philly in second, the Mets in third. John had all three of them as playoff teams. Marlins in fourth.
We all believed in the Mets to some
We
extent.
all did. Someone believed them in a little bit too much, though.
Someone pictured them to go to World Series.
Yeah.
So let us talk about those predictions. Our World Series predictions. Ben had Boston over Atlanta.
Could still have. Hey, after everything that he predicted, it's still alive.
John had the Dodgers over Detroit.
Kind of alive.
Ben's
is more likely, though. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Dylan had the Dodgers over the Yankees.
Chalk it up, baby. Chalk it up. Chalk for the most likely World Series.
And for what it's worth, for Ben's Red Sox over
no.
Atlanta.
What was your no?
That's mine. I want to save it for something. Hear me out. For Ben's Boston over Atlanta, Dylan, you thought Willie Abreu would have been World Series MVP?
For Ben's World Series.
Yes. I thought Roman Anthony, and John thought Jaron Duran.
Roman Anthony.
For John's Dodgers over Detroit, John, you thought Kyle Tucker was going to be the World Series MVP?
Dude, he's having a terrible year.
What?
He's having a terrible year.
Dylan, for your Dodgers over the Yankees, you had Yamamoto as World Series MVP. And I chose Seattle over the Mets with Julio Rodriguez as World Series MVP.
Eesh.
So that happened, yeah. So just to reiterate, AL East, our new predictions are Tampa for me and John. Dylan goes Yankees. AL Central, we all picked the White Sox. AL West, Seattle for me and John. Houston for Dylan. NL East, Atlanta across the board. Milwaukee across for the Central, and the Dodgers for the West. NL Wildcard 1, we all said Cubs. NL Wildcard 2, Dylan and I said San Diego. John said Philadelphia. And then the inverse for Wildcard 3, Dylan and I went Philly. John went San Diego. AL Wildcard 1, the Yankees for me and John. Tampa for Dylan. Boston for all of us for the wild card 2. And we have 3 different wild card 3s. Detroit for me, Seattle for Dylan, Houston for John.
See you in a month when I'm correct.
Or see you in a month when Dylan pretends that he was correct and the rest of us were.
Pretends? You just read it. They all heard who was correct.
Let's talk some studs and duds. For me, my stud, Miami starter Yuri Perez, 1-0 in 2 games started, 13 innings pitched, 5 hits, no runs, 12 Ks, .92 whip. Hitters are going 125 against in their batting average. My dud, Dylan Dingler of the Tigers, the catcher. Funny story about him, by the way. I was going through some old stuff from college when I was a broadcaster. I broadcasted Dylan Dingler in college when he played against Rutgers when he was at Ohio State. My first ever baseball game I broadcasted, Rutgers, Ohio State. It was like March 31st. It was a doubleheader, and the first game of the doubleheader went 15 innings.
Oh,
brutal.
My broadcast partner got sun poisoning.
I've had that
in March.
Yikes.
Ow.
And Rutgers won on a walk-off hit, so that was fun. Dingler in 6 games, 26 at-bats. He has 1 hit, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. He's hitting .038 with a 151 OPS.
You got your rookie?
Yeah. My rookie's going to be White Sox center fielder Tristan Peters. 6 games, 16 at bats, 7 hits, 1 home run, 2 RBI, hitting .438 with a 1.250 OPS.
Very nice. My stud from the Cubs, Alex Bregman, he has found the pop as of late. 6 hits in the last 7 days, 4 of them for home runs, 8 RBIs, also has drawn 5 walks, 300 batting average, 1.34 OPS in that time. My dud will be Ellie De La Cruz. In 26 at-bats, he has 2 hits and 11 strikeouts, batting .077 over that stretch. And my rookie is Chase DeLauder of the Guardians, who, hey, they could make a run. He's been excellent over the last week or so. Stats seem to have disappeared here on MLB.com. So
I told you it's being weird today.
I don't have him in front of me. I think when I looked it up, he was batting around 400 over the last week. So we'll pretend that that's correct. If it is correct, great. If it wasn't correct, apologies. But DeLauder looking pretty good for the Guards. Him and Bazana could be what leads them to the postseason.
That none of us predicted them to get to.
My stud, I think Dylan's favorite player, Alec Boehm, 11 for 20, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, 550 average, and 1.471 OPS. He also no respect for Jaden Daniels and went 5 for 5 in a game. So, I mean, no respect for Jaden Daniels.
None. It's embarrassing.
None.
Oh, Jaden.
My dud, another third baseman, Royals third baseman Nick Lofton, 1 for 19, .053 average and a .235 OPS. I mean, just Royals. The Royals are way worse than I thought they'd be this year. Like they just took a.
You think you're disappointed? What about
back.
Ben?
I know. I had the Royals. I think I had the Royals decently high. I mean, that's why I had the White Sox in last. I probably I want to say I had them at third.
You had the Royals in second as a wild card team.
Yeah, I was gonna say you also
had the Royals in second though. So
did I have them as a wild card team?
No,
exactly.
But
exactly.
But I did.
Yeah, so I was the lowest on the Royals. So once again, vindicated and proven correct.
We had them at second.
John, you remember you had the White Sox in last.
That's true, because I was high up. I mean, you had a
novice.
Oh my!
Rookie.
My rookie, Pirates catcher Rafael Flores, 7 for 15, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, .467 average, and a 1.56 OPS. I mean, that kind of production of a catcher is insane.
Can only imagine.
One of the trade pieces the Yankees gave up for Bednar.
So,
yeah, it'd be nice if the Yankees could get 3 hits out of the catcher.
We have 3 hits this season total. Let's go moment of the week. For me, I'm going St. Louis outfielder Joshua Baez. 3 home runs in his first 3 at-bats of his MLB career. He debuts, only player ever to go 3 home runs. He went 3 for 4 with 3 home runs, 5 RBIs against the Cubs. Every time I got that notification on my phone, I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah, same.
First pitch he ever saw, home run. Worked the full count, home run. And then just poked at Oppo, a little laser, home run. That's pretty incredible for an MLB debut, and I don't know if this will ever happen again.
Yeah, it was great stuff. We had the Field of Dreams game, Kyle Schwarber. I'm sure the baseballs weren't juiced. Leadoff homer. Bink. Book it with Trent. His Nerfy died immediately. You love to see it.
my moment of the week, I mean, Phillies' first ever sweep of the Twins ever. First time they swept the Twins ever. And it's also the first sweep they've had in 2 months since they swept the Padres.
I feel like everybody should have had swept the Twins at some point.
No, it's the first time
we're spoiled. We're spoiled. We own the Twins.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy that it was their first ever sweep. And then their first sweep in 2 months, you said?
In 2 months since they swept the Padres last. I think it was like either the end of June or early July.
And we're surprised that this team just now got a positive run differential?
They
For the
had
first
positive
time
run
all
differentials
For the
like,
first time all season.
it is not. They literally had a positive run differential on the pod while we were recording the podcast last week.
You better hope that they don't lose those 9 runs they have in hand by next week, or else I'm booting them out and I'm putting the Marlins in.
I mean, knowing their track record with the Marlins, they might.
Yeah, let's do our weekly series highlight. John, you want to start us off?
Yeah, it's gonna be Cardinals Phillies, just because I mean Cardinals are only 3 games out of the wild card, right? So like Phillies got to win, like they have to win the series, or else they're gonna give up a lot of ground in the wild card. So like because it's really really close, so this is like a must-win series for them.
For sure. Maybe not must win my series, but I got Braves Brewers, 2 teams that are competing to be the 1 seed in the NL, which I feel like could be extremely valuable at this point in time. The Braves kind of need this series a little bit more as they're trying to be the 2 seed, like those top 2 seeds getting a bye and then not having to face Philly potentially as a 3-6 matchup could be huge for whichever team gets that. So big series.
For me, Chicago Cubs at Seattle. I think this is a good test for Seattle if they're ever going to come back and knock off Houston to win the division. They need to be able to beat good teams, playoff teams. Cubs, they kind of need to beat up on a team that's not in the playoffs. I know Dylan.
Sorry.
Houston's already put it to bed.
I was here in Seattle. Fell asleep.
Yeah, it might be a pipe dream, but it's a dream.
We all
And
got it.
I think that this is where it starts. Seattle, they take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs, and they're just going to rise to the top. And we'll come October, we'll be talking about, can Seattle get it done? Cal Raleigh goes nuclear in September. It's all coming together. He finally realizes that losing the AL MVP to Judge isn't something that needs to hurt your self-worth, and he goes off. There's a vision.
There's something.
I also saw just another point I wanted to make. I did see an interesting stat about Ha-Sung Kim. He has the worst average and slugging percentage of all time among players who have had at least 85 plate appearances in a season. 45,719 collective seasons among players who have had 85 plate appearances or more. He has the worst average at 066 and the worst slugging at 066. Not to mention he has the second worst OPS at .230 and the second worst OPS plus at a -32.
Yikes. That's all
I don't
got.
know if we ever see him in the league again.
He was my relic card that I got out of the hobby box and Tops too. It was an auto patch card of him.
Congrats.
You think you could pay anybody to take it off your hands?
No, that box was a dud. Actually, it was like 25% of the box were duplicates, and Pox basically told me to go, off when I told them about it. They're like,
Sucks to be you.
I had like 5. It was like 5 duplicates of 4 players.
That's crazy.
Hopefully none of them were Alec Bohm.
No, one of them was Mr. Kowski rookie cards.
I saw something really funny about how Bohm's parents were going to sue him, serve him papers coming out of the corn during the Field of Dreams game.
Yeah, his father was going to come out for the corn with a what did the tweet say? Summons.
What a time.
A
To be
subpoena.
alive.
No.
Did we ever get an update on Ketel Marte?
I was reading something that said like he's okay physically. He just didn't show up to the park.
I mean, it's great that he's okay physically.
That is all I saw. I don't know if I haven't. I was at the.
They're also not in Arizona. They're in Fenway right now.
Yeah, but he just said I guess they said he's physically fine. They just said he didn't show up to the park. So I don't know. I haven't seen anything else.
Maybe he's apartment hunting.
I mean, I'm not seeing anything.
That's all I saw.
That Hector Gomez said that the Diamondbacks DFA'd him.
Why would they DFA him if they
Yep.
put him on the restricted list? They don't have to pay him on the restricted list.
Are you sure? Are you sure
I'm just-
you're
I'm
not
just-
like
No, I
It's-
see
it's
the
not-
same
it's not-
tweet.
It's not
Starling
a fake.
Marte got DFA'd? By the way,
Ketel Marte, the Arizona Diamondbacks designate second base star Ketel Marte for assignment. Hector Gomez, 107,000 followers.
I do. I mean, I saw Sterling Marte got
I mean,
DFA'd.
again, I'm seeing the restricted list on every other spot.
Yeah,
Again,
I'm wondering if he got.
that Hector Gomez has sometimes
Used?
been very early on stories.
He's also
So-
been very wrong on stories.
Right. So take it with that.
No, I see the Hector Gomez.
I mean,
It's just very, very odd.
I know Sterling. Like as I'm just saying, I know Sterling Marte got DFA'd like 5 hours ago.
yeah, everybody else is reporting restricted lists. So again, take it with a grain of salt. It's just,
We'll find out more. I'm sure we'll discuss it next week whether he is actually DFA'd and if that puts him in one of those you can't touch him type deals where the fall off, maybe the first case of CTE in baseball. Like, could this be his Antonio Brown waving into the end zone moment?
I saw that tweet already.
Did you? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I
That
saw
sucks for
that.
me.
What
But
a
we'll
time.
find out more. But let's call it here. Playoffs coming up. We'll revisit as we get closer. Races will tighten. Races will fall apart. For John Pauline, Dylan Mel, I'm Corey Jason. This has been the Outsider Sports Baseball Podcast.